Alright, so yesterday we did some equations of lines, and this is why we reviewed it. It's to prove whether lines are parallel, perpendicular, or oblique. So parallel lines are lines in the same plane that do not cross, and they have the same slope. So if you have a line that looks like this, that has a slope of 1, then a line parallel to it would also have a slope of 1. Parallel lines. I'm going to go ahead and do perpendicular, and then we'll come back to oblique. Perpendicular lines are lines that cross to form 90-degree angles. So they're right angles. They have opposite reciprocal slopes. And all that means is that if one has a slope of 2, of positive 2, then the perpendicular would be opposite, so this plus turns negative, and reciprocal means to flip it. So this is 2 over 1, so it would be 1 over 2. If you had something that was like negative 3/2, opposite means that negative would turn positive, and then reciprocal means you'd flip it. So that's how you do opposite reciprocal slopes. These would be opposite reciprocal slopes of perpendicular lines. So if you had one that was a positive, oh, well, let's move that one. Let's put it here. A positive 1 over 1. So positive 1 slope. Then negative 1 would also be the opposite reciprocal, and they would meet at a perfect 90-degree angle. So they meet there. Oblique lines, they are two lines without right angles, or intersecting lines. Without right angles. Slopes have no relation. So they're not the same slope, and they're not opposite reciprocal slopes. Those are oblique. So everything else that's not parallel or perpendicular are oblique lines. And it says, are the following parallel, perpendicular, or oblique? But they just give you these points. So all we need to do is find the slopes to tell if they are which one they are. So if this is x2, y2, x1, y1, then we have 5 minus 10 over negative 3 minus 1. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4, which gives me a slope of 5/4 for this set. And then this set, 3 minus 8 over negative 5 minus a negative 1. 3 minus 8 is negative 5, and negative 5 minus a negative 1 is actually negative 4, because this means negative 5 plus 1. So negative 4, which gives me 5/4. These have the same slope, so they are parallel. Okay, I'm going to make this x2 and this y2 and this x1, y1. It is easier to make the 2's with the negatives, so you don't have to deal with minusing a negative, and that gets kind of confusing. So it's easier if you have the option to leave the negatives as your 2's. Because, see, now it's negative 6 minus 2 instead of 2 minus a negative 6. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8. So that gives my slope 3 over 8. Since this one's the negative, it's going to be my 2's. So 2 minus 6 over negative 7 minus 4. 2 minus 6 is negative 4 over negative 7 minus 4 is negative 11. So 4 over 11. 3 over 8 and 4 over 11 have nothing to do with each other, so these are oblique. These are very easy to tell because these are your slopes right here, and they are both 2/3, so since they are the same, they are parallel. Whenever you have it like this, you have to solve for your slope. So add or subtract your x to the other side, and then divide by what's with your y. So we're going to subtract this 3x from both sides. And 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 6. And then we divide both sides by 2. So that gives us y is equal to negative 3 over 2x plus 3. And negative 3 over 2 is our slope. So I'll subtract 2x on both sides. Negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 12. Divide both sides by negative 3. So y is negative and negative, make it a positive 2/3 x, and then minus 4. So this is my other slope. So as you can see, this one's negative, this one's positive, so that is opposite. And then 3 over 2 and 2 over 3 are reciprocal, so they are perpendicular. And that is it for your notes today.